Warriors. Picture waking tomorrow with total command over every word, emotion, dollar, and thought in your mind. Sounds impossible, right? Yet, over 2,000 years ago, a man believed this wasn't just possible, it was the only path to true freedom. That man was Epictetus, born a slave. Consider this. He had no control over his body, his movements, or his circumstances. He was owned, yet he discovered a profound power, transforming himself from a physical slave into one of history's greatest teachers of mental and emotional freedom. He taught that no one can harm you unless you allow it. Gentlemen, this may sound harsh, especially if you're facing real pain. But Epictetus meant this. While you can't control every event, you can absolutely master your response. That choice is your true strength. Today, few are physically chained, but many are trapped by uncontrolled words, emotions, spending, and thoughts. We regret what we say. We let moods ruin our days. We spend money we don't have on things we don't need. Our minds spiral into fear, doubt, and worry. But what if I told you the wisdom that freed a slave can free you? What if the things you feel least in control of your words, moods, finances, thoughts could become your greatest strengths? The Stoics knew something we often forget. True wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in self-mastery. Real power isn't controlling others, but commanding yourself. And genuine freedom isn't having endless choices, but always choosing wisely. Life gives you daily chances to practice this. When someone cuts you off in traffic, that's your moment to master your words and mood. When you're tempted to buy something unnecessary, it's your chance to control your finances. When your mind spirals into fear or doubt, it's time to seize control of your thoughts. The Stoics didn't expect perfection, not even Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, who wrestled with these same challenges. In his journal, he wrote, "Daily, you control your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. This isn't about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming unshakable. Stoicism can rattle you. When you master your words, you speak with purpose, not impulse. When you command your mood, you choose your emotional state, not let it rule you. When you manage your money, it becomes a tool for peace, not stress. And when you master your mind, you author your thoughts, not become their prisoner." In the next few minutes, you'll dive deep into these 4 pillars of personal power. We'll explore ancient wisdom that's more relevant than ever, and you'll get practical tools to apply immediately. But you must commit to action. Each part builds on the last. Don't skip ahead. Stay with me to the end. And I believe this can transform your life. If you're ready to reclaim control, hit that like button. Comment below which of the 4 pillars, words, mood, money, or mind you struggle with most. Subscribe, because your journey to self-mastery is just beginning. Share this with someone who needs it, because real strength starts with you. Declare this in the comments. I am the master of my words, my mood, my money, and my mind. First, mastering words, the gateway to wisdom. An old saying goes, the tongue is small but can cause great harm. Yet, what many miss is that words don't just wound others, they shape who you become. Seneca, a towering Stoic philosopher, spent years observing the power of words in Rome's Senate. He saw careers built or broken by a single phrase, friendships shattered by careless remarks, and alliances forged through precise communication. His deepest lesson, though, came from within himself. Every new beginning stems from the end of something else. Seneca wrote, "This is especially true of your words. Each time you speak, you close one version of yourself and open another. The question is, are you becoming a man you respect? Recall the last time you spoke in anger and instantly regretted it. In that moment, you felt the raw power of uncontrolled words spoken before wisdom could intervene. Now imagine reclaiming that power. What if every word you spoke was chosen deliberately, not flung recklessly?" The Stoics developed a simple yet profound practice, the pause, before speaking, especially in heated moments. They paused and asked 3 questions. Is this true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If any answer was no, they held their tongue. But mastering words isn't just about restraining negativity, it's about wielding positive words with purpose. When you offer sincere praise, you don't just brighten someone's day. You train yourself to see the good in the world. When you speak words of encouragement, you rewire your mind to seek opportunities over obstacles. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "Be like a rocky promontory against which waves crash. It stands firm, and the waters around it grow calm." Your thoughtful words can be that rock for others. In a world of rapid-fire reactions, your deliberate speech is a source of strength and peace. Here's a practice to transform your relationships in just 7 days. Before speaking in any charged situation, take 3 deep breaths. First breath, ask what you're feeling. Second, consider the other person's emotions. Third, choose words that serve the highest good for all. The power of controlled speech creates a ripple effect. When you speak with intention, people respond differently. They listen more, trust you deeper, and seek you out. This isn't manipulation. It's the natural outcome of becoming a man worth hearing. The greatest impact of mastering your words is how it reshapes your relationship with yourself. Every kept promise strengthens self-trust. Every kind word about yourself rebuilds your self-image. Every refusal to gossip or complain focuses your energy on what you can control. Your words don't just convey thoughts, they forge them. By consistently speaking of possibility, gratitude, and wisdom, you train your mind to think that way. Your mouth is the bridge between your inner and outer worlds. Master that bridge, and you control the flow of energy both ways. Tomorrow, we'll dive into how this principle applies to your emotional world. Affirm this daily. I speak with purpose, not fleeting emotion. Imagine waking each morning to find someone else dictating the weather in your mind. Some days they choose a storm of anger, others a fog of sadness, and rarely, if you're lucky, a burst of joy. This is how many live, ruled by external circumstances. But the Stoics and I learned a truth. 2,000 years ago, you're not a victim of your emotions. You create them. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist, endured years in Nazi camps. In the worst conditions, he uncovered a truth echoing Stoic wisdom. Between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space is your power to choose your reaction. That choice holds your growth and freedom. Reflect on that space now. as you hear me. Between every trigger and your emotional response is a fleeting moment where you have total control. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire. This discipline isn't about wanting less, but valuing what you have, accepting what you can't change, and relentlessly pursuing what you can control. Master this, and your mood becomes a finely tuned instrument you play, not a wild storm that plays you. Here's a truth that might stun you. Your emotions aren't facts, they're interpretations. When someone doesn't text back, the situation is neutral. Your mind spins a tale they're ignoring you, angry or indifferent. But what if you crafted a different story? Maybe they're busy, their phone died, or they're planning something meaningful for you. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, "You control your mind, not external events. Grasp this, and you'll find strength." Each morning, he reminded himself, the day would bring challenges, difficult people, and surprises. Instead of dreading them, he saw them as chances to hone emotional mastery. Try this powerful exercise now. Think of something troubling you recently. Ask, what story am I telling myself about this? Is there another way to see it? Which interpretation serves my highest good? The magic happens when you realize you've been the author of your emotional experience all along. You just didn't know. You were writing the story. Mastering your mood isn't toxic positivity or pretending everything's fine. It's choosing responses that strengthen you, not drain you. When anger rises, instead of suppressing or exploding, use it as fuel for positive change. When sadness hits, don't drown in it. Let it connect you to your humanity and compassion for others. The Stoics practiced a powerful ritual called the evening reflection. Each night, they reviewed their day, asking, what emotions did I feel today? Which ones served me? And which controlled me? How can I respond better tomorrow? This practice transforms how you navigate your inner world. When you master your emotions, you stop fearing them because you know you can steer them. You no longer avoid tough situations, trusting your ability to guide your feelings. You become a steady anchor amid others' emotional storms, making you invaluable in relationships and work. Every emotion you feel is data, not a directive. Anger signals what matters to you. Fear alerts you to pay attention. Sadness shows you've lost something dear. But no emotion has the right to rule you. Your mood is your inner weather, and you can learn to forecast, prepare, and even shape it. Declare below if you're ready to command your emotional world. I control my emotions. They don't control me. Third, mastering money, the tool of freedom. Money reveals your character more than almost anything else. It's not just currency, it's your time, energy, and choices crystallized. How you handle it determines whether you live free or enslaved to your desires. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, wrote, "The poor man isn't the one with little, but the one who craves more." This wasn't empty philosophy, he lived it. Despite his wealth, Seneca chose hardship at times, sleeping on the floor and eating simple meals to remind himself happiness doesn't rely on luxury. Here's a hard truth: if you can't control your spending, you can't control your life. Every purchase moves you closer to freedom or deeper into bondage. There's no middle ground. Mastering money isn't about stinginess or denying joy. It's about aligning spending with your values, making money your servant, not your master. When you buy to escape boredom, sadness, or to impress. Money controls you. When you spend on what truly adds value or serves others, you're in command. The Stoics practiced preferred indifference. Things like money are nice to have but never define your worth or happiness. Think of your last impulse buy. Maybe it's collecting dust now. What were you really chasing? The item, or a feeling of status, comfort, or excitement? Here's an exercise to reshape your relationship with money. Before buying something non-essential, pause and ask, what am I truly seeking here? If it's an emotion or experience, find a way to achieve that feeling without spending. Often, you'll realize the purchase isn't necessary. Mastering money goes beyond curbing spending. It's about creating value. The Stoics believed in contributing to the common good. When your work serves others, money becomes a natural byproduct, not the sole aim. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you hesitate to rise in the morning, remember, you're waking to do the work of a man." Viewing work as service, not just a paycheck, brings excellence. And that excellence naturally yields greater financial rewards. Here's what shifted my financial life. I started tracking not just where my money went, but how I felt after each purchase. I used 3 columns: the item, the reason, and the feeling afterward. What surprised me was clear. Purchases that brought lasting satisfaction aligned with my values, books that expanded my mind, experiences with loved ones, tools to better serve others, impulse buys, status-driven purchases, or emotional spending left me empty or regretful. This simple habit gave me clarity no budgeting app could match. Mastering money means knowing the difference between assets and liabilities. Every dollar spent should preserve your ability to earn more or serve others better. Most men live as passive observers of their mental chaos, unaware they can choose which thoughts deserve their energy. Epictetus taught that true wealth isn't in vast possessions, but in having few desires, not just for things, but for mental clutter too. When you stop entertaining every thought that knocks, you become rich in peace and focus. Consider this: you wouldn't let a stranger barge into your home and rearrange it. Yet you allow random thoughts to disrupt your emotional state. One negative thought can derail your day if you give it power. The Stoics used a practice called prosoche, constant awareness of the present moment, vigilantly guarding their thoughts. This isn't modern meditation, it's being the gatekeeper of your mind. Try this life-changing practice. Over the next week, when you catch yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, pause and ask, does this thought help or harm me? Does it move me closer to the man I want to be? If not, replace it with a constructive one. Mastering your mind isn't about forced optimism or ignoring problems. It's about choosing thoughts that build you up, not tear you down. Instead of thinking, this is awful, I'm powerless, shift to, this is a challenge. What's the best way to tackle it? The situation doesn't change, but your mental experience transforms. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is always changing. Our life is what our thoughts make it." He knew he couldn't control Rome's enemies, political plots, or his own mortality, but his mind was his sovereign domain. Your mind constantly weaves stories about what things mean. Someone doesn't smile, and you assume rejection, traffic jams, and you imagine disaster. A boss calls you in, and you brace for trouble. But here's your power. You can rewrite those stories instantly. The unsmiling person might be carrying their own burdens. Traffic is a chance to practice patience or learn something new. The boss's meeting could bring good news. The Stoics called this the discipline of judgment, separating facts from the stories you tell yourself about them. The fact is, it's raining. The story is, this rain ruins my day. Master this distinction, and you become unstoppable. Your emotions no longer chained to external events. Try this now. Think of something stressing you out. Separate the facts from the story you're telling. You'll be amazed how much stress comes from the story, not the facts. Your mind is a brilliant problem solver when guided properly. Instead of letting it run wild with worry, give it specific challenges to address, like, what's the best way to handle this situation? Your mind thrives on clear direction. Every thought you entertain either builds or erodes the man you're becoming. You're shaping yourself moment by moment. Declare this: I am the architect of my mind, reclaiming my power. Here's the beauty of mastering these 4 pillars. They don't just change individually, they create a ripple effect that transforms your entire life. Like tuning an instrument, when one string is perfect, the others resonate better too. Master your words, and people seek you for your wisdom. Master your mood, and you become a calm anchor others rely on. Master your money, and you gain freedom to act on values, not survival. Master your mind, and you see opportunities where others see only problems. The real magic happens in the space between these pillars. Let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother from my workshop last year, overwhelmed by debt, snapping at her kids, and trapped in sleepless, negative thought spirals. She was drowning in stress. 6 months later, Sarah sent me a message that moved me deeply. By applying these principles, she cleared her credit card debt and launched a small business. Her relationship with her kids transformed as she learned to speak with love, not stress. Most importantly, she felt like herself again, calm, confident, and in command of her life. The beauty of Stoic wisdom is its upward spiral effect. Each small victory in one area fuels confidence to tackle challenges in others. When you control your words in a heated moment, you prove you can master your emotions too. When you resist an impulsive purchase, you strengthen the same mental muscle that deflects negative thoughts. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence is a habit. The Stoics took it further. Mastering these 4 pillars creates a powerful resonance. Each day of practice doesn't just improve that day, it makes every future day easier. Reflect on who you were 6 months ago and the struggles you faced. Now, envision the man you could become in 6 months if you commit to these principles. The gap between your current self and your future self isn't as wide as you think. It's just a series of small, daily choices. You don't need to perfect all 4 pillars at once. Trying that often leads to frustration. Instead, pick one that resonates most and focus on it for the next 30 days. Mastery in one will naturally lift the others. The Stoics believed in sympathia, the interconnectedness of all things. Your inner mastery doesn't just benefit you, it uplifts everyone around you. Better words reduce conflict. Calmer emotions create peace for your family. Wise spending sets an example for your kids. Constructive thoughts make you a problem solver, not a problem. The deepest ripple effect is how mastery changes your view of challenges. Instead of being a victim, you see each difficulty as a chance to practice strength. Comment below. If you're ready to turn challenges into power, every challenge is my chance to grow stronger. We began with Epictetus, who rose from a slave to a teacher of freedom by mastering himself within his circumstances. Today, you face the same choice. He did too. 000 years ago. You know true freedom isn't endless options but always choosing rightly. Your words, mood, money, and mind aren't separate. They're interconnected pillars that either support or weaken your growth. What I want you to hold on to most is this. It's not about perfection, but living with intention. Every pause before you speak is practice in mastering your words. Every choice to respond thoughtfully to a tough emotion strengthens your control over your mood. Every dollar spent in alignment with your values builds financial wisdom. Every redirected negative thought reinforces your mastery over your mind. The ancient Stoics faced wars, plagues, political turmoil, and personal tragedies, yet they held an unyielding inner strength. That strength, forged through mastery of these four pillars, is yours to claim. Your transformation begins with one decision to take responsibility for your inner world. Not because life is fair, it isn't. Not because it's easy, it won't be, but because you deserve to own your experience. 6 months from now, you could be the same man with the same struggles, or a man who navigates life with wisdom, will, and inner power. The choice is yours, and the time to decide is now. Epictetus's words still ring true. No one can harm you unless you allow it. Today, you revoke that permission. Today, you begin the journey from reaction to response, from chaos to control, from slavery to freedom. The four pillars of mastery await you. Your future self is counting on you, somewhere in eternity. The Stoics are cheering you on. Start today. Start now. If this message resonates, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Write your commitment in the comments and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom. Your journey to mastery begins right now. Affirm this in the comments. Today, I choose mastery over mediocrity, will over reaction, and freedom over bondage to circumstances.